may be seated. Good evening. I'm Mary Ellen O'Connell, as always proud to be the Wellsville Secondary School Principal. Welcome to tonight's celebration. I would like to welcome the members of the class of 2018, their parents, guardians, family and friends, members of the Board of Education, fellow administrators, faculty, staff, to the 134th Wellsville High School graduation ceremony. We would like to begin our program this evening with the national anthem. If I could invite the members of our Wellsville Wave to the stage. I would also like to invite to the stage four members of the class of 2018 who are entering the military after graduation. Please come to the stage. Trenton Beckwith, U.S. Air Force. Bailey Jeffords, U.S. Marine Corps. David Newsom, U.S. Marine Corps. to our country. I'd like to take a moment to introduce the individuals on stage. To my left, our Superintendent of Schools, Mr. David Foster. Our Board of Education President, Mr. Alma. Our extraordinary assistant principals, Mr. Jason Mank and Mr. Rick Gold. It takes teamwork and attention to detail to make sure tonight's ceremony is a memorable event for our students and their loved ones. A thank you to the dedicated faculty and staff and administration of the Wellsville Central School District, as well as our friends across the river at Immaculate Conception Schools, who have prepared our students for this day. To those who've carefully collected and reviewed the data, certified each diploma category, a thank you. To all of those who prepared tonight's venue, to those who set the stage, provided sound and recording, and assisted you to your seat with one of our beautiful keepsake programs. Thank you to those folks. And now I would like to welcome to the stage our school board president, Mr. Alma.
Must be that you think I'm a little bit taller than Mary Ellen. That's good. Thank you. Thank you, Principal O'Connor. Donald. Excuse me. Graduates, family members, friends, and staff. It is an honor to be part of this celebration for the graduating class of 2018. I want to welcome you here tonight for the 134th graduation of Wellsville High School. It is a pleasure to share in the intensity of emotions filling the front, I shouldn't say front lawn, but it's not. Say, they fill this gym, and we're graduating and closing a chapter in their life. Parents, you are probably wondering where the years have gone as you have marveled at your sons' and daughters' accomplishments. It doesn't seem that long ago when these young adults we honored were toddling off to start preschool or kindergarten. Of course, living through those years between kindergarten and graduation may have seemed like an eternity for the students and for some parents as well. You are the class of 2018. You graduate in a century which is still in its infancy, as a time when our world and country are dealing with enormous challenges, but a time when the opportunities created by those challenges have made it even greater. You are technology natives. You are born and educated in a technological world that is only found in science fiction stories, where many of us on this gym, we're in school. You Twitter and you tweet. You read books and news online, and your electronic social networking has shrunk the earth. You are the generation that will take the technologically advancements of today to new and dazzling heights. You are the ones that will bring solutions to environmental concerns, global warming, conservation of natural resources, and develop alternate energy sources. These issues that my generation are just now identifying. And who knows, there may be a time that when some of you may live in a space station circling the Earth. So tonight you are poised to start a new chapter in your lives. You will leave Wellsville as a graduate of a great learning institution with the hopes that you will stay in the area or decide to leave. The person you have on the right and on the left of you will make this a better world. On behalf of the Board of Education and myself, I wish you the best of everything and hope you guide others in continuing your education. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to recognize the senior class officers and their advisors. Our 4 officers did a fantastic job this year and deserve a moment to be recognized. Would the senior class officers please stand to be recognized? Sadie Emser, Secretary; Sean Whitehouse, Treasurer; Aiden Brown, Vice President; Co-Presidents Jaden Heislip and Mitzi Kalkbrenner. Leading our graduates and overseeing the senior year is a challenging yet rewarding undertaking. We have 3 of the best in this role. Please join me in thanking our outstanding class advisors, Ms. Sandy Quick, Christy McNulty, and Erica Aftek. At this time, I would like to welcome to the stage Senior Class Co-President Mitzi Kalkbrenner to address the Class of 2018.
Good evening, everyone. I would first like to thank all of the faculty and staff, friends and family, and the Board of Education for all of the support and encouragement in ensuring the Class of 2018 a great education. We couldn't be here today without you. It's been quite the journey for the Class of 2018. In 2015, our freshman year, you could have asked anyone, and I guarantee they would have referred to us as the problem class, the troublemakers, the loud class. We've not always had the best reputation here at Wellsville. It didn't help we were following the Class of 2017, who had always been known as the golden class. Since the 6th grade, we've consistently found ourselves in a situation that is problematic, or a new mess to get ourselves out of. Starting in the middle school cafeteria, where at least twice a week we'd be sat down in the hall after our lunch block to be lectured at for misbehaving. It got to the point of having assigned seats at lunch for most of 7th grade. It has also come to my attention that even the students from ICS had their issues during their middle school years. They would often get their Sharpies taken away for not using them the way they were supposed to. The ICS kids soon joined us for our freshman year of high school, which is the year we got in trouble for an inappropriate float theme and had been forced to change our entire float an hour before the homecoming parade. Our float theme ended up being, "Don't get cloudy, let's get rowdy." And then during the junior year homecoming kickball tournament, a moment we aren't proud of, we let our competitive sides get the best of us. And I'll just leave it at that and send my apologies on behalf of the class to any faculty or staff that had to deal with us that day. We've had our differences as a class also. We don't always agree. We almost never agree, actually. But surprisingly, this year seemed to bring about more disagreements than we were used to having in the past. I'd like to stand here and tell you that being seniors on the same journey is what brought us together, or that the realization that this was our last year is what brought us together, but it wasn't that. But what did bring us together, no matter what, was the good old-fashioned sing-along to Wagon Wheel, or plotting against the juniors about how to steal the lion back. And I guess the idea of it being our last year helped a little. We realized it no longer mattered that we had different opinions or different ideas. We began to realize that these were our last days at Wellsville High School, and it was time to enjoy it. Watching your last soccer game and buying your last hot cocoa at a freezing Friday night football game, planning your last pep rally or performing at your last Christmas concert, your last musical teaser or your last art club field trip, your last DECA meeting or your last year selling ads for the yearbook, sitting in the student section at basketball games one last time, getting dolled up for snowball one last time, or gossiping about who's going to prom with who one last time. These were the moments that brought us together. We were starting to understand that these opportunities we've been lucky enough to participate in would soon be over. Each one of these moments are memories I am grateful to have shared with the class of 2018. This class has overcome our original reputation and our disagreements, and we finally made it. With the lion in our possession, by the way, being a part of this class has given us great laughs, but also great lessons. Lessons we can take with us as we embark on our new journeys. We've learned that as much as we all would like, we can't just get along. But it's because we're different, and if these last 4 years have taught us anything, it's that that's okay. These last 4 years have also taught us how to overcome our issues in order to be a part of the bigger picture. As we begin the next step of our lives, away from each other and away from our families, we will come across new people and find ourselves in new situations that we must overcome. And I think being a part of the class of 2018 has already given us a head start. So thank you to my fellow classmates for giving me friendships and memories that will last me a lifetime. Congratulations, class of 2018. I wish you all the best of luck.
Mitzi, would you please accept this plaque on behalf of the Wellsville Central School for being co-president? All the way here. Jane and Heisler. And Jaden as well is serving as co-president. Thank you very much for your service.
Seniors, please present your flower to your loved one at this time.
graduates, the honor of Salutatorian has been earned by Aiden Brown. Aiden is the son of Peter and Marley Brown. He has earned the title of Salutatorian by accruing an average of 100.59. Aiden's list of accomplishments include the University of Rochester Frederick Douglass and Susan B. Anthony Award, the New York State Regents Award for Academic Excellence, the President's Award for Educational Excellence, and the Rotary Student of the Month. Aiden won the state DECA competition this year, qualifying him to participate in the International DECA Conference in Atlanta, Georgia. Aiden is a 2-year member of the Wellsville chapter of the National Honor Society. He has been an active member of the Wellsville Boys Soccer Program, Golf, DECA, Leos, WAVE, the OWL, Student Council. Aiden has been the heart and soul, serving for the yearbook, the last 2 years as editor-in-chief. It is so wonderful to know that Aiden will be following his true passion, music. He will be attending Syracuse University, majoring in recording and allied entertainment industries. Aiden, would you please join us on stage to address the class of 2018?
Thank you. Thank you to all of the administration and to the Board of Education for giving me the opportunity to speak today. When delivering a graduation speech, you are expected to somehow impart your wisdom upon all of your classmates, so that they may take your advice and use it however they choose. I wish I had some universal adage that I could give to everyone here that would ensure that all of our futures were successful and prosperous. However, it is difficult to deliver a common message to such a varied class. I can confidently say that over these past 18 years, no one in this class has lived the same life as anyone else around them, and that the rest of their life will only bring even more experiences that will further differentiate us as people. And for that reason, I don't think I can speak for the class as a whole. What I can do instead is offer what I know about our little shared experience. The one thing all of us do have in common is living in Wellsville and all the things that come with it. Most people don't live in a town where they know almost everyone by name or at least their face. It's fair to say living in Wellsville is a comfortable, relatively easy existence. But now it's time for a change. All of us are going to be thrust into new, foreign experiences that we might not think we are ready for. And to be honest, we're not. Whether it be attending a college away from your family, starting a job, or going into the military, all of our lives are going to change drastically after high school. And despite all the preparation high school has given us, the years to come are going to be filled with unknown situations that we will not be ready for. But this isn't something we should fear. Rather, I believe we should get excited for the unknown. The world outside of Wellsville is a massive one, and there's so much to be experienced and learned that we have barely seen. For many of us, the senior trip was the first time we were able to leave the country, or even the state for that matter. We should embrace all of the situations like these that make us uncomfortable, because these are the ones that will cause us to grow. It is now the time, more than ever, to take risks and to meet new people who challenge us and make us realize things about ourselves that we didn't before. I encourage you to learn about other cultures and to explore things outside of your comfort zone. Rather than build up walls to keep others out, take the time to listen to the people who are different from you, as there is value in every person's experience. Don't let your knowledge of Wellsville be the only knowledge you have. We are part of a generation of some of the most intelligent, informed, and passionate students to ever live. Every day we see young people becoming more politically involved and socially conscious. Your age is in no way indicative of the wisdom you possess. We have an unlimited access to the world around us, and we shouldn't take this for granted. As we walk across this stage, all identical in our caps and gowns, and our current goal to culminate our high school experience, we share one final common experience. Once we step off this stage, the unknown will present itself to us. I encourage all of you to embrace it, rather than fear it, for this is what will shape us as people. Congratulations to the class of 2018. Thank you.
Aiden, would you please accept this Salutatorian plaque on behalf of the Wellsville School District? The honor of Wellsville Secondary School Valedictorian goes to Jaden Heislip, the daughter of Jeff and Darcy Heislip. Jaden has earned this prestigious award by accumulating a high school average of 100.62. Jaden's academic record and undeniable work ethic has kept her at the top of her class throughout her high school career and opened doors to many opportunities. Some of Jaden's academic achievements include the Dwayne Anderson Science Award, the New York State Regents Award for Academic Excellence, the President's Award for Educational Excellence, the Big 30 Academic Team, Scholarship Nominee, the University of Rochester Bausch and Lomb Award, Rotary Student of the Month, and the DAR Good Citizen Nominee. Jaden is a 2-year member of the Wellsville chapter of the National Honor Society. In addition to her academic accomplishments, Jaden has also been a vital member of the Wellsville girls volleyball team for 4 years. She has been actively involved in International Club, Leo's Club, SAD, orchestra, and student council. Jaden has dreamed of a life in the field of medicine for many years. It is awesome to know she is making that dream a reality by matriculating this fall at Damon College to pursue a career as physician assistant. Please come to the stage, Jaden Heisler.
Thank you, Ms. O'Connell, Mr. Foster, and the Board of Education for allowing me to speak here today. I want to start by taking it back to my middle school years. The years where I was so convinced that I had everything figured out. Those years consisted of me dreaming about being a plastic surgeon or an OBGYN or an anesthesiologist and watching a countdown I had created on my phone for high school graduation, although I hadn't even started high school yet. I also spent the majority of my time watching Criminal Minds and posting on the fan page I had created. At the beginning and end of every episode, a quote is read, and the quote at the end of my favorite episode reads, "Every ending is also a beginning, we just don't know it at the time." It's clear how obsessed I was because I didn't even have to look up that quote to put it in the speech correctly. I remember dreaming that someday I may be fortunate enough to use that quote as the center of my valedictorian speech. Thinking of my future and what I hoped to accomplish was my way of staying motivated and getting through the frustrating times at school. Throughout high school, I forgot about this quote as I grew and experienced new things, but just a couple of weeks ago, I was sitting in the library watching Criminal Minds, and my favorite episode recited the quote. It was a sort of full circle moment, and it hit me that the countdown to graduation was rapidly approaching 0, and soon I would be crossing the stage with my classmates. Looking back now, I realize that I had made a mistake. I shouldn't have counted down these days. It took me until the end of my senior year to see that high school wasn't such a bad place after all, and my beloved Criminal Minds quote is actually very cheesy. After this epiphany, I began thinking about how this school in this small town has given me support, opportunities, unique relationships I couldn't have formed anywhere else, and personal accountability. We, the class of 2018, didn't acquire these things alone. So in this speech, I want to talk about all of the people who made this life what it is. The first group of people I talk about has to be our families and those who have helped raise us. Can you imagine life without them? I mean, can you even imagine the ceremony without them? Being in this small town allows us to keep our families close and spend quality time with them. The grandparents who live next door and the aunts and uncles who live 5 minutes away change your childhood. I will never forget the Monday night dinners at the Beef House with my grandparents, the summers spent at my aunt's pool, or the countless holiday parties executed perfectly by my mom. If you asked anyone in our class, I believe they would recount some very similar stories. The undying support from these people who care about us has pushed us to be who we are, so we need to thank them for all they do. The next group of people that comes to mind are educators and members of the community who have provided us with opportunities. In this community, there is something for everyone. You can go to BOCES to learn your trade. There are college classes offered so students can get ahead. We have band, orchestra, and choir for those interested in music, DECA and business classes, language classes, science clubs, student government, and sports of all kind. It amazes me that with a school so small, we are still able to have these diverse opportunities. And I have come to realize that it is teachers and community members that we can thank for that. They aren't often treated with enough respect or gratitude, but they continue to do these things because they care about us. I know I can attribute some of my successes to Mrs. Decker, the kindergarten teacher who took a special interest in each student's learning, or Brian Myers, the coach who helped me boost my confidence, or Mrs. Aptuck, who has helped make every high school event happen. They care so much about us, and it shows in all the hard work that they do. It's a rare thing to come by people in this world today who will do things solely for the benefit of others, so this is something special that we have here. Another group of people that must be recognized are friends and peers that we have spent these past 12 years with. The different perspectives within our school, combined with a small number of people, forces us to open our minds and view things the way others might see them. On our senior trip, almost everyone was friends. I personally sat with different people every time we ate out and spent each day with someone new. Our experiences growing up here have taught us to be accepting and welcoming of all people. Everyone has a place here, whether it be athletes, scholars, musicians, hunters, fishers, farmers, video game players, Star Wars watchers, people with different political views, members of the LGBTQ community, etc. Learning how to talk to and work with people who are different than us is a skill that will take us far in life, and I'm thankful I learned it here in Wellsville. One incredibly important thing that has come with these unique relationships formed is personal accountability. When you grow up in Wellsville, everyone knows you and everyone expects the best from you. In big cities and schools with graduating classes of over 1,000 students, it's easy to slip by unnoticed. But here there are people constantly checking up on us. Success here isn't only about ourselves. It involves all of the people who know us and care about us. Therefore, it's a lot harder to accept failure because it's not only yourself who you will be disappointing. The Wellsville community makes us personally accountable for our decisions and motivates us to achieve to the best of our abilities. After compiling this list of all the people who helped shape us, it might seem scary to leave this small town. It might be terrifying to know that students from huge schools with unlimited funds and fancy classes are the people we will be competing against and working alongside. You, like me, might be wondering, how will we compete? Our strongest advantage just might be all of the people previously mentioned. Those who come from cities and big towns won't have the support, diverse opportunities, strong relationships, and personal accountability that have been ingrained in us. So it's important to remember and appreciate where we came from and what we have learned here. It will set us apart from the rest and provide us with a place to look for encouragement because everyone here is rooting for us. Even though the Criminal Minds quote is cheesy, this ending is truly a beginning, and I am excited to see where we go and the great things we will achieve. I want to say thank you to my classmates and to all who have played a role in my life so far. Congratulations, class of 2018, we did it.
Jaden, on behalf of the Wellsville Central School, please accept this Valedictorian plaque. Please welcome the members of our senior ensemble to the stage. Our seniors will be performing Seasons of Love from the musical Rent.
525,600 minutes, 525,000 journeys to plan, 525,600 minutes. How do you measure life among your men? Does she learn for times that he cried? Bridges he burned for the way that she died. It's time now to sing up the story never ends. Celebrate the memory of the life of
Most of our honors and awards were acknowledged at ceremonies prior to tonight's event. Wellsville had an incredible showing this year at the National Honor Society banquet. Our seniors swept the top scholarships, allowing us bragging rights for years to come. Would the members of the NHS please stand? Last week, 47 of our seniors participated in the BOCES CTE graduation ceremony, and 3 of our seniors graduated from Elm Street Academy. Would you please stand to be recognized? We held the 29th Annual Senior Scholarship Night on June 5th. Once again, we would like to thank the generous contributors who awarded our seniors a total of $103,540. If you received a scholarship on that evening, please stand. Thank you. The Principal's Recognition Award is presented on graduation day to a member of the class who has exhibited the qualities of courage, determination, and perseverance. The Wellsville Lions Club has generously donated a monetary award for this plaque, along with this plaque. This year's Principal's Recognition Award is presented to Alexander Billings. The Stanford Mason Memorial Award is a special award that is reserved for graduation. It is my pleasure to introduce Samara Mason, the granddaughter of former Wellsville Superintendent Dr. Stanford Mason, to present this year's award.
Hello, graduating class of 2018, friends and family. Since 1990, my family has come together each and every year at Wellsville graduation to award a graduating senior with a scholarship in memory of my grandfather, Stanford Mason. Each year, the scholarship is presented to someone who represents the ideals and values that my grandfather instilled in his students and in his family. These included leadership, integrity, respect, and many, many others. This year, I am pleased to announce that the 28th recipient of the Stanford Mason Memorial Scholarship is Mitzi Kelk-Brenner.
To take just a moment to share what I know about the incredible class of 2018. They are an amazing collection of young adults who have competed and succeeded at the local, state, national, and international levels on several fronts. As a class, they've accumulated over 2,500 hours of community service this past year. Our athletic teams and clubs have represented Wellsville successfully at the regional and state level. Our yearbook staff continues to be recognized nationally at the highest levels for the quality of their publication. All successful students shoot for the stars, but this class is literally going to prove that in about a week. As part of the Student Spaceflight Experiments program, the members of our college biology class took on the challenge of developing an experiment that could be conducted within a small silicone tube. They came up with worms, and they won. The Wellsville worms are set to launch next week, destination International Space Station. Our kids won't make that launch because they have to present their experiment at the Smithsonian. Simply incredible. I'd like just to take a moment for Mr. Munson and the AP Biology kids to just stand for a moment. It's beautiful. Beyond these accomplishments, this class has demonstrated to us all that kindness is paramount. At school, they have modeled kindness and respect in their daily routine. This group may have had a rough patch during their middle school years, but they have evolved. If you haven't heard, life in high school has its formidable challenges. This is a group who took on these challenges by choosing to be positive leaders, reaching out to their peers and underclassmen with level-headedness, kind words, and selfless actions. And while traveling, even the esteemed Canadian Mounties and overly diligent Canadian customs agents can attest to the patience and thoughtfulness of this group. When we encountered an extended delay crossing the border on the senior trip, they never complained. In fact, they chanted, "We're good, we're fine, leave no foreign exchange student behind." To the class of 2018, I'm certain you will look back on your high school days with fond memories. Take on the next days of your lives knowing you have a solid foundation to compete with anyone you encounter. Should you ever doubt this, take a moment, dust off your 2018 yearbook, and read from the opening pages. In your words, we are individuals, a small part of a grander equation. Everyone is a variable. And with variability comes infinite possibilities. Together, our power is exponential. I am proud of your accomplishments and wish you all the best. Tonight, I am happy to cut my remarks short to allow a very special guest speaker to offer her perspective as a former Wellsville student and now a highly successful adult. As a member of the class of Wellsville in 1994, our guest speaker was known as Little Katie Pickett. I was a young member of the faculty at that time and can affirm that Kate was amazingly gifted at English and absolutely terrible at physical education. She was a busy student, serving as the president of student council, member of National Honor Society, and squinting as copy editor of the yearbook. But even with all of her gifts, Kate was not afraid to try new things. She was the slightly off-key participant in the orchestra, the squeaky voice lead in the annual musicals, and a frequent flag-dropping member of the color guard. Kate blew the doors off this place with her academic prowess and her willingness to fearlessly participate in activities outside of her comfort zone. She's a risk taker, and that clearly has paid off. Today, Kate Lamberton holds a PhD and an MBA from the University of South Carolina, a Bachelor of Arts in English Literature from Wheaton College. She is the associate professor and chair in marketing at the University of Pittsburgh's Katz Graduate School of Business. Dr. Lamberton's research explores a wide range of consumer behavior. In addition to academic research, Kate is an international marketing consultant who has been retained by both the U.S. Department of Education and the U.S. Department of Labor. Named a Marketing Science Institute Young Scholar, Dr. Lamberton has received numerous awards. Named the top 40 business school professors under 40, as well as ranked in Forbes' top 10 for her excellence in teaching. In the last few years, Kate has been an invited speaker at several high-caliber institutions: Oxford, Harvard, Stanford, Berkeley, and now, of course, Wellsville Secondary School. It is with great pride that I welcome to the stage one of Wellsville's finest alumni, Dr. Kate Lamberton.
I thought I probably shouldn't trip on the way up the stairs, but it wasn't impossible that was going to happen. So first I want to start by saying something that maybe should seem obvious, and it's that I am very happy to be here. And I hope you're all happy, right? This is an amazing thing to watch. You guys are incredible. There's so much to be happy about, and being back here, I'm reminded that some of the finest and best people I have ever known were from right here in Wellsville. But I also want to point out something that might be less obvious. When I was sitting in these seats, when I was graduating, it was inside again, and it still wasn't air conditioned in 1994. I wasn't happy. I wasn't. During my senior year, my life had changed in ways I really didn't understand, and I didn't know what was going to happen moving forward. And I'm going to bet that we have a range of happiness in here. And on one hand, you might think, who cares? Why does that matter? Well, in marketing, we think that we need about 30 seconds to change your life in profound ways, and Ms. McConnell has given me 10 whole minutes. So I'm going to try to convince you of two things tonight. The first thing is that your happiness matters, not just to you, but to everyone around you, and actually to me. And because it matters to me, I'm going to give you some ideas about the fact that you can affect it yourself. And so to do this, I'm going to pull from two different sets of information. One is the social science that I've studied professionally, and some of it's the literature that has probably told me even more about how to be happy than anything that I've researched. So let's start with that first part. Why does it matter if you're happy? Well, how many people in here figure it's probably good to be alive? Thank you. So here's an interesting thing that some social scientists did. They collected data from a whole bunch of people around the world, and they set it up so that they could create, basically mathematically, two people who are the same. Right? So they're the same height, the same weight, they smoke or they don't, they exercise or they don't, they have the same level of education. And then they looked at their happiness. And for two identical people, the one who was happier could expect to live on average about 10 years longer. Okay? I would like you guys to be around. So I have to care about your happiness. And second of all, the other reason it matters is that what you do with those years will be dramatically affected by your happiness. And this understanding comes from psychology literature. What they found there is that when people are happy, their mind does something kind of amazing. It broadens, it opens, it can take in new information, and then it can build on it. And then you become more creative. And as was earlier mentioned, friends, we have some problems, okay? They're the big problems, but they're also the problems that you're just going to encounter as part of everyday life, where your creativity and your ability to help solve them will make your life and your families and your friends and your communities and your co-workers' lives better. So, are we on board that happiness matters? You good with that? Yes. All right, good. Okay, now what are we going to do about it? There are a lot of things you can't control, right? But there are some things you can. And this is the temptation in the graduation speech, and I sat through a lot of them to get really abstract and crazy. I'm going to try to make this concrete and practical. And give you 3 things. You might like all of them. You might like one. You might not like any. If you don't like any, that's all right too. Just keep looking for them. The first one is this. What you can do is set your goals in terms of the way you can connect to people. Now, when I graduated from high school, I'm not sure I would have done that, okay, or college, right? What did I set my goals in terms of? Money, probably. Because I thought that would make me happy. It seemed to me that that would make me happy, but I've learned a little bit since then. And one of the studies that I read that helped me understand how this worked looked at the 400 wealthiest people in this country. Okay, so they surveyed these people and they asked them about how often are you happy? What percentage of days are you happy? 400 wealthiest people in the country. These are people who have incomes at least 100 times the average American. And they said we're happy about 77% of the time. That's pretty good, right? I mean, they're still unhappy 23% of the time. But 77 is pretty good. Now let's compare that to the average American. People who make 1/100th of the lower bound on that amount. What percent of the time do you think they were happy? It's about 71%. Now that's different. But the people who had 100 times the income were not 100 times more important, or were not 100 times more happy. Their lives didn't feel 100 times more meaningful. So what can we do that helps us be happy? Well, here's a funny thing about money. It mostly only helps you to the extent that it allows you to connect with other people. Done this research, this was done up at Harvard, where they gave a bunch of people $20 each. And half the people, they said, okay, go out and spend this money on yourself. And then they checked with them later and they asked how happy they were. The other half of the people, they said, here's $20, go spend it on somebody else. And then they checked with them. What they learned was that the people who spent it on others were much happier than the people who spent it on themselves. And not only that, that happiness lasted a lot longer. And you see this. We know that people doing things for other people tends to give them happiness. People do crazy things for other people. Not because it does much good for them, but because doing for other people makes us much happier. So that's the first thing. Okay, frame your goals in terms of connecting with other people. The second thing, and I'm gonna get nerdy for a second, is to know your own utility function. Bear with me. Okay, so what's a utility function? Economists gave us this idea, and to economists, utility is just happiness. Okay, so what a utility function does is it tells you how happy different things are that you can choose to do. And there are a couple things that happen when we don't figure out what makes us happy ourselves. One thing that can happen is that we accept other people's utility functions. You chase the things that everybody thinks you should chase. And that creates some problems. On one hand, everybody's chasing the same thing, so that's a pretty competitive situation, which you may or may not like. But the bigger problem is, if you haven't figured out your own utility function, and you don't know that that's going to make you happy, when you win, it's actually kind of a terrible day. Because you just won a game you never even wanted to play. Don't do that to yourself. Take the time to figure out what you care about and chase that. And here's another great thing about that. Maybe you find out that your utility function is different from everybody else's. And for this, we kick to our friend Robert Frost. Then you take the road less traveled, and that can really make all the difference. Then the third thing that you can do is ask. Always ask. And it took me a long time to get this one. It actually took me until I was interviewing for jobs. And I know many of you have interviewed for jobs recently or interviewed to go to college, and I was interviewing for professor jobs. And I had worked for a ridiculous amount of time to get these interviews. And part of the interview process was to go to dinner with really awkward people. I don't know if you know any awkward people. I met a lot of them. So I'm going through this process and I'm having these interviews and I'm thinking, why am I miserable? Why am I so unhappy? I worked so hard for this. This is what I want. And I realized that I was sitting at those dinners feeling profoundly lonely. And so I started doing something a little bit weird. I started asking strange questions. And I made a list of them, and I have a bad memory, so I wrote them on a card, and I took the card to dinner because, hey, if we're gonna be awkward, let's just all be awkward. And I asked questions like, tell me about your favorite place. Or if you could change one thing in the last 10 years, what would you change? And suddenly, because I was asking these questions, I found that I could be sitting at dinner with someone 20 years older than me, who might have been born on a continent on the other side of the world, and I found that we had something in common. And what that did was that made me less lonely. And pretty much anything you can do to decrease loneliness will also raise happiness. And the other great thing about asking, always asking, is that you learn. And the more of a habit this becomes, the more you have in your pocket when things get sad, because they will sometimes. And I wanted to illustrate this with a quote from a book called The Once and Future King, which talks about the Knights of the Round Table. And I didn't find this quote until long after high school. I wish I'd had it earlier, so I'm going to share it with you. And the author writes, "The best thing for being sad," replied Merlin, beginning to puff and blow, "is to learn something. That's the only thing that never fails. You may grow old and trembling. You may lie awake at night listening to the disorder of your veins. You may miss your only love. You may see the world about you devastated by evil lunatics, or know your honor trampled. There's only one thing left for it then, to learn. Learn why the world wags and what wags it. That is the only thing which the mind can never exhaust, never alienate, never be tortured by, never fear or distrust, and never dream of regretting." So, happiness matters. Your happiness matters to me because we have problems to solve, and I need your creativity out there. So do you. And when I listen to you guys, and I look at you, I think, yes, I knew some of the finest and best people I've ever known right here in Wellsville. And I think you're going to be some more of them. I hope that as you go, and as you do the things that you are so excited about doing, not only do you do well, that you do it happily. Congratulations, and good luck.
Thank you, Dr. Lamberton. Mr. Warren, would you please join us on stage? Superintendent Foster, it is now time to certify the diplomas.
I now pronounce to you, or present to you, the class of 2018 who have completed the requirements for graduation as established by the New York State Board of Regents and the Wellsville Board of Education. Will the first row of graduates please stand?
Emily K. Anderson, Alfred State College. Josiah Matthew Andrews, Employment. Dewi Shafahani Akila, foreign exchange student who has already returned to Indonesia. Brandon J. Bailey, Damon College. Brogan D. Bailey, Northern Michigan University. Trenton Matthew Beckwith, United States Air Force. Jacob Michael Bierman, Employment. Alexander L. Billings, Corning Community College. Jade Nicole Black, Employment. Autumn Bledsoe, Alfred State College. Carter A. Brandis, Penn State University. Aiden M. Brown, Syracuse University. Sequoia Ray Bullard, Jamestown Community College. Simon Asher Case, Alfred State College. Megan Lindsay Cash, undecided. Olivia Jewel Cavagna, employment. Justin F. Cole, George Washington University. Kyle Michael Cornelius, Ohio Technical College. Dylan Andrew Drake, undecided. Alex Nola Eddings, Monroe Community College. Ashley Marie Ellis, St. Bonaventure University. Sadie E. Emser, Loyola University. Christopher W. Evans, Alfred State College. Morgan J. Fisk, Alfred State College. Thomas Fortis, Alfred State College. Jennifer Lynn France, employment. Anastasio A. Garcia, employment. Mitchell Ryan Gates, employment. Anthony G. Gear, employment. Joshua C. Glass, Liberty University. Nicholas Paul Gonska, Alfred State College. Logan W. Gaw, Alfred University. David M. Graham, SUNY Geneseo. Tristan E. Greenman, Southeast Lineman Training Center. Colby J. Griffiths, University at Buffalo. Byron Thomas Jacob Grover, SUNY Potsdam. Quinton C. Haggerty, Alfred State College. McKenna A. Hoffman, Pennsylvania College of Technology. Trey M. Holtz, employment. Cody A. Hurlbert, employment. Damon College. Bailey Mackenzie Jeffords, United States Marine Corps. Shelby Lynn Jeffords, Alfred State College. Mackenzie Ann Johnson, Jamestown Community College. Max Allen Johnson, Alfred State College. Olivia Lynn Jones, Finger Lakes Community College. Victoria A. Kailborn, Jamestown Community College. Mitzi Shania Kalkbrenner, SUNY Fredonia. Tyler Grant Kemp, Alfred State College. Nicholas A. Lakatosh, Employment. Zen Ting Lee, University at Buffalo. Bryce Lau, Alfred State College. Holden Vincent Mack, Alfred State College. Isabel Grace Mariotti, Niagara University. Abigail Rose Maxey, undecided. Connor E. McCullough, Jamestown Community College. Haley Joe McDowell, Employment. George Gray McDowell, Jr., Employment. Mariah Lenee Messler, Alfred State College. Riley Q. Morse, Minnesota Commercial Diving Center. Richard J. Murphy, Dewville College. Devin Lee Murray, undecided. Brianna Leah Newhouse, undecided. David M. Newsom, United States Marine Corps. Grace Elizabeth Norton, SUNY Onondaga School Leasing Program. Shannon Kathleen Nye, Lemoyne College. Keegan T. O'Grady, St. Bonaventure University. Painter, undecided. Calista Jace Cheyenne Perkins, United States Air Force. Jordan Lee Pettit, Radford University. Trey Jaden Piscatelli, Alfred State College. Isaiah James Plank, Employment. Timothy Dean Rhodes, Occidental College. Trinity Jade Rulo, St. John Fisher College. Anna Deshae Rubio, Alfred State College. Zachary A. Sands, undecided. Jacob P. Seeley, St. John Fisher College. Lauren Nicole Sherwood, undecided. Dawson Hunter Sloat, Jamestown Community College. Andres Diego Smith, Job Corps. Jessica Allison Spinelli, SUNY Oneonta. Natalie Samantha Taylor, Corning Community College. Terrian J. Taylor, Jamestown Community College. Brianna Lynn Terryberry, Alfred State College. Gage M.J. Thomas, Employment. Travis Nathan Thomas, Alfred State College. Gabriella Shea Vossler, Employment. Brian Patrick Walsh, Alfred State College. Jasmine Lynn Waters, Monroe Community College. Tyler W. Watson, Northern Michigan University. Sarah Morgan Weinreber, BOCES Dental Assistant Program. Sean J. Whitehouse, Syracuse University. Jacob Tyler Weitzel, undecided. Maureen Elizabeth Willard, St. John Fisher College.
Ensemble, please come forward for the singing of our alma mater. The words are on the back page of your program if you do not have them memorized. Co-presidents.
Seniors, at this time, please rise and move your tassels.
Senior class, the moment is finally here. You are now officially alumni.